introduction. I was born in El Paso. I've always lived in El Paso. I'm a product of El Paso Public Schools. I have over a decade of experience in public school classrooms as a teacher. I have 4 children. 3 of them are still attending public schools. The youngest one is barely in kindergarten, so I have a very deep investment in public education. And I am extremely, extremely excited about running for this position.
Questions?
What is your take on the present process of evaluating the textbooks?
One of the primary responsibilities of the State Board of Education is to develop and adopt and implement textbooks. Currently, because there is an overwhelming majority of elected members who do not have classroom experience, curriculum experience, textbook experience, they appoint committees. On these committees, each of the 15 members are allowed to select somebody. Amongst those selections, again, not all of them have textbook, classroom, curriculum experience. Then what we're left with is several factual errors. Historically, we've heard about that quite a bit. It's been an embarrassment, a national, international embarrassment, Texas textbooks. We've had a majority on the board who don't agree with scientists. And ultimately, what we need on the Board of Education are educators that are developing textbooks, that are developing curriculum, that are developing instructional materials. And that, in and of itself, will eliminate the embarrassment of our instructional materials.
I'm going to go ahead and ask you the same question I asked the others.
Yeah.
What problems do you see in elementary education? And how would you fix them?
Okay. I see several problems in elementary education. When we had our $5.4 billion cut that Representative Gonzalez spoke about earlier, some of the things that resulted from that cut were class size increase tremendously. Class sizes are not set on 22 period, it's set on 22 average. So if there is an educator who is teaching a special population, he or she may have 3, and then another teacher may have 30, because we can make it average 22. So when we cut funds, we eliminate absolutely essential, necessary programs. I am a fan of bilingual education. Bilingual does not mean teaching English only. Bilingual also applies to students who want to learn Spanish. So I am a big fan of bilingual education. Knowing more than one language makes you far more advanced in your academic or your present academic career, and also later on in life. I would like to see a lot more of the $20 billion deficit that we are looking at now, resulting from the $5.4 billion cut and the population explosion since the cut. Once we reduce class sizes and have better textbooks and curriculum and instructional materials, and the teacher shortage is eliminated, those foundational 3 should and will correct a tremendous amount of problems in elementary education.
This is one of those races where a lot of people don't know what it is or what it does. So could you tell us what the main difference is between you and your opponents and why it matters?
The main difference is, I'm going to tell you what I've been able to research. I've just met both of the opponents tonight, so I can't say that I know everything about them. But what is available for, I'm the average voter, so what is available for any average voter to research and find out about the candidate? I can speak only to that. I am the only educator from El Paso, so I can speak to the specific needs of our community. I have over a decade of experience in curriculum development. I have published curriculum. I have over a decade of experience developing, adopting, reviewing textbooks, instructional materials. Because I have over a decade of experience teaching in a tested area. I will tell you, in my experience, I taught 8th grade language arts. And this isn't something that everybody knows. In 8th grade language arts, there are the most standards. That means they're the most taught, therefore they are the most tested in all of the years of language arts, from pre-K through 12th grade. If you don't have experience in standards, in curriculum, in textbooks, how do you tout yourself as somebody who should be elected to do specifically those jobs? If you have not been an educator, if you have not been an educator specifically in our community, how do you tout yourself as the best person to do that job? I find it highly problematic that somebody who has not been a teacher, in our community, would stand up and say, I'm the best person to tell teachers how to do their job with the circumstances that we have in our specific community.
Mr. Ricker? The
Okay.
state of Texas,
Yes, sir.
how does it rank compared to the rest of the states in the United States for education?
Well, it depends on which report you're looking at.
Well,
If,
tell us.
okay, and I'm saying that because in the last, I want to say 10 days, perhaps maybe 15 days, there have been several national reports showing us that Texas is number 50 for high school completion, showing us that Texas is number 49 for per scholar investment, showing us that we are below the 45th percentile, leaving, you know, a long list of 5 worst amongst college readiness. The reason that I can speak specifically about college readiness in El Paso is because once students graduate from high school, they go through placement testing. And I'm going to give you some numbers from EPCC testing services. 66% of our students are sitting in remedial reading and writing courses. 88% of them are sitting in math remedial courses. Some of these turn into 3, 4, and 5 semesters of remedial courses. You do not, thank you, you do not get college credits for taking a remedial course. You do pay for it. The majority of our scholars here are on financial aid. Financial aid has very strict rules. You will run out of time and you will run out of money if you're taking remedial courses. You cannot complete a program. In our county, 13 for every 100 students that matriculate to college university complete an undergrad program.
Mr. Castro?
2 minutes?
Ma'am, there are 3 minutes. Okay, ma'am, there are 3 committees on the State Board of Education that deal with different things. Which of those 3 committees would you like to see yourself appointed to, and what would you do on it?
I would like to see myself sitting on the Permanent School Fund Committee. The Permanent School Fund is also where we get our funds for Pearson, which is our high-stakes standardized test. In September of just last year, the Texas Education Agency entered into another 4-year contract with Pearson for TELPAS, for STAR, and for end of course. These are all high-stakes standardized tests. There are different reports that tell us how much these things cost, specifically for the state of Texas, but we're talking about billions of dollars. The numbers that I just shared clearly are not preparing our students for secondary education, higher education, etc. Sitting on the Permanent School Fund, I would have a very distinct voice and from experience as to why that's a poor investment, why our public funds should not be used for high-stakes standardized testing. Clearly, our parents, our teachers, and our community do not support that. And bringing the voice of knowledge and experience because of being in the classroom, because of teaching a context, tested area, I have the knowledge, first-hand, primary source knowledge of exactly why we shouldn't be doing that. But that's a great question. That's the first time I heard that. Thank you.